Maybe I'm selfish, narcissistic. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but I'm kind of struggling. I can't seem to remember anything bad. I just remember all the good things.
I held on to him and I bawled, and then he said to me, so what you want me to do with this now? What you think me I gonna do with this?
I feel like he has moved on and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which still just sucks, you know? I can't imagine.
Gentlemen, pull up a chair, because this story is about several women who proudly walked away, expecting the men they left behind to chase after them. Instead, those men accepted the decision, signed the papers, and moved on to something better. What was meant to be a temporary break became a permanent ending, and the reactions that followed were not part of the original plan. Today on Told You, we watch bold choices meet unexpected consequences in real time, all captured through their own cameras and words.
My husband is currently packing his bags and also packing our kids' stuff because he is going to leave to another state, all because I cheated on him with a mutual friend. My husband and I have been together for a while. No, I don't think there was any issues in the relationship or marriage whatsoever. I actually thought our life was pretty perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another. I think I was just really tired of the fact that my husband was constantly working to make sure that we had a roof over our heads and to make sure that everything was paid, and so I just felt very lonely, so I decided that I was just going to message his friend, you know, just like we are friends, nothing else, that was it. And then all of a sudden it just led to something else. I mean, at least I had the balls to actually tell my husband what was going on, because I could have kept it from him. You know, I could have just moved on without telling him shit. After I told him, I was very surprised about his reaction, because he was not freaking out or panicking. He just said, okay, and then he said he was going to pack his shit and go, but he was also going to take the kids. He was very demure, if I can say that word. I just thought he was going to accept the fact that I was cheating on him, and then we could just move on and, you know, continue with our perfect lives. But no, he instead chose that he wants to actually leave with our kids, and now I'm...
Her husband was working every day, paying the bills, supporting the family, and keeping everything together, but she called it loneliness. Instead of fixing the problem, she crossed a line that shattered the entire marriage. Then came the confession, delivered like it deserved applause for honesty, when in reality it was simply the truth arriving too late. And his reaction stunned her the most. He said almost nothing, gathered his children, walked away, and never looked back. She thought his silence meant he was processing the betrayal. It didn't. It meant he was already finished with the situation long before she realized it.
Here I am, on my new bed, my princess bed. It's amazing. I feel like a different person already. I feel like I can do whatever I want, and I'm not responsible for anybody anymore but me. I don't know, things aren't going that great. I just keep thinking about what it used to be like when things were good. And maybe all of this was my fault. Maybe I'm selfish, narcissistic. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but I'm kind of struggling. All that fake, all that happy, oh, I'm doing so great. I think I was in shock. And now it's coming like into reality, and I don't know. I know this is just a separation, and there are a lot of worse things in the world than this. I don't know what my life's gonna be like. I can't seem to remember anything bad. I just remember all the good things.
She bought herself a brand new bed to celebrate her independence, only to end up questioning every choice that brought her there. In a matter of moments, the excitement of freedom turned into quiet regret before the sheets were even fully unpacked. What caught everyone's attention was how quickly the memories changed. The relationship she once described as exhausting suddenly became filled with nothing but good moments the second he was no longer there. Funny how people sometimes only recognize value after they no longer have access to it.
In the morning of the life I thought that I was going to have, and I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything, and we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million, and that was my breaking point, and I left it all. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. You made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are like college and one's almost out of high school. Like, you made it. You made it. Like, it didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and I was like freaking out because like I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. Like, I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me, and the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so I could have stayed. I was so mad that I think this way. I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier. I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted. Kind of. I mean, I say that, and then I think as I say that, I'm like, but you couldn't. It's like so weird that my brain thinks that way. And I called my girlfriend and I told her, I was like, I probably should have just stayed. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. And she just started, she's like, Jenna, what are you talking about? Like, literally. They were horrible to you. They told you to shut up. They told you not to breathe, not to eat. Every little part of your life, every day you were miserable and you were crying. You are not remembering that. And then I just keep thinking, I'm like, but I had a huge house and all my bills were paid for and I never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut, well, not the last year of separation. But you know what I mean? All the basic things that keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, did top sports like cheer and football and went to all that stuff. And I was, the cheer mom and, did all that stuff and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there. And I'm so mad at myself because I'm not this way. I don't think this way, but it's hard to know you gave away. My ex would probably never make less than $1 million every year, and I'm starting over and basically as if I'm a 20-year-old again.
She stayed through the hard years, helped build the life, raised the kids, supported the grind, and then walked away right when everything finally started paying off. Not during the struggle, but at the moment success showed up. After 23 years together, she left just as they reached the finish line. And now, looking back, the small things are what she talks about most, like who cut the grass or handled the house. But the real question is this: if finally making it wasn't enough to keep the relationship together, then what exactly was she waiting for all those years? Because even she doesn't seem to fully know the answer.
I remember, like, when my ex-husband, and this is so funny to come, when the leaving, when the real leaving, when the marital home break up and he's going somewhere else, and currently I live where I live, and that feeling as if my whole life, and he came just to hand over some stuff, and I was holding on to him and I was crying. Sheena, I bawl. I held on to him and I bawl, and then he said to me, so what you want me to do with this now?
He showed up to drop off a few things after the separation. Nothing emotional, just a normal exchange. But the moment she saw him, she broke down crying and held on to him like everything was suddenly hitting at once. And he calmly looked at her and asked, "What do you want me to do with this now?" No anger, no dramatic reaction, just complete honesty. The marriage was already over, the decisions had already been made, and he had already accepted it. That moment wasn't cold, it was reality finally catching up after the emotions came too late.
My whole world got disheveled. And I feel like he has moved on, and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which I don't want him to come back into my life, but it still just sucks, I can't imagine, thank you guys for sharing stuff, like stories that you've gotten through this and it's been however many years, because I could not imagine that.
She wants to be very clear. She does not want him back. She just doesn't want him to be okay without her. which is a very specific kind of entitlement that does not get discussed enough. She wanted the exit and the grief. She wanted to leave and still have him somewhere in the background, quietly not moving on, keeping the seat warm just in case the freedom era stopped being fun. And he had the audacity to heal. The disrespect.
She kept saying she didn't want him back, but what really bothered her was seeing him happy without her. She expected him to stay emotionally stuck while she figured things out, but instead he healed, moved on, and quietly built a better life. That's the part she never planned for. She thought leaving meant the door would always stay open if she ever wanted to return. He saw it differently. To him, it was the end. No arguments, no chasing, no dramatic speeches, just acceptance and a decision to move forward. And honestly, that's what shocked her the most.